Good morning. For those who are familiar with the games, there is the Big Country Boxing engine, and then there's my time engine, my 2D20 engine, my Flash system, and my RBE engine. And so, Big Country Boxing is only available in PDF on DriveThruRPG, and it is a career-based, uses a 3 to 4 digit rating system, which is a career mode. I also have I have a basic golf game using that engine. I have a basic baseball game using that engine. And finally, I have created a football game using the Big Country Boxing engine. So this is going to really be confusing. This is Big Country Football using the Big Country Boxing engine. So it uses a 3 to 4 digit code to rate the teams. The teams have adjectives as their ratings. These adjectives have modifiers. They have number modifiers that modify the base code. And I have rated the 1970s decade set. So this is the Cowboys through the 70s, the Giants through the 70s. So this isn't one season. This isn't like the 71 Cowboys. This is basically the Cowboys over that 10-year period. And they have adjectives that describe what they're known for, what their offense base is, what their defense is known for, and their organizational quality. Okay? So this is the 70s set. It's done. The BCF football game has not yet been released. I'm currently playtesting the game. So technically, Big Country Football is a 2D20 football sim using the Big Country universe. But the actual Big Country engine is only available through Big Country Boxing, and of course, my Big Country Golf, my Big Country Baseball also use that boxing engine. And finally, I've been able to finish football, and I think it's going to be remarkable, at least for what I'm looking for this to do. And this is a career-based game. You create teams by rolling up their 4 attributes. You modify that base score, and then you play games. And you have to do practice. So every week you'll roll before each game to see how teams are affected by their practice. At the end of the season, you'll do your off-season, you'll do your draft, etc. And they all affect this base rating over here on the far right. So let's just take a look at how teams rated out using, and again, I rated these literally not by rolling randomly, but by going through the options and rating them based as close as I could to what they were known for, what they are, what they were about. And I tried to rate them fairly, too, to keep ratings from, being, Dallas can't just be all pluses across. Well, they can be, and matter of fact, they pretty much are. So the Cowboys rate out, they're known for great coaching. Their offense is data wins. Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys were big on data. They contest everything on defense, and they have top coaches in the organization. They rate out to a 785. Pretty epic. The Giants, they're really known for no names. There's no real great stars in the Giants. They're an old school offense. They're slow but big on defense, but their talent is homegrown. They're a 565. This is, again, imagine the team through the entire 70s, 1970 to 1979. Right, this is not one season. Philadelphia Eagles, their owners they're known for profit margin, trying to balance the profits. They shoot from the hip on offense. They trust their talent on defense, and they're cool under fire when the organization is struggling. They're pretty cool. 570. The St. Louis Cardinals, known for injury prone, they protect their QB. That's what they like to do on offense, so that's what they like to do. Lots of DBs on the roster are found in the secondary, maybe nickels and dimes. And they are, unfortunately, organizationally, they are a sinking ship. The 70s will never get great for them. It may start solid, but it'll only get worse. The Washington Redskins, they're known for their veteran leaders, dominating the line of scrimmage, trusting their talent on defense, but pricey free agents. Right? This could have been I really could have done tradecraft for Washington as George Allen, when he took over the Redskins, he basically traded all their draft picks and young bucks to get veteran leaders. But I thought I would go with pricey free agents to keep it from getting too high. Again, you're free to modify these, of course. The Chicago Bears, they are a defense first. That's what they're known for, defense first organization. They're an old school offense. They blitz, right? Known maybe for rushing the passer, blitzing. And again, homegrown talent. 630 is their base rating. The Detroit Lions, they have a patient owner. It's trying to set up the run. Chalk talk on defense, meaning they're doing more chalk talk than they are actual good defense. And, of course, poor drafts. The Detroit Lions struggled to build rosters. 540 is their base rating. The Green Bay, remember, this rating changes literally weekly. This rating will change weekly based on practice, right? Okay, Green Bay Packers. So, I mean, this is just the base starter. By the end of the season, Dallas could be down quite a few points, right? Okay. Green Bay Packers, cheap owner, and I only say that because they didn't really have an owner. They were publicly owned, but they had to operate within a profit. I could have made them profit margin. Probably would have been more fair to make Green Bay profit margin because this was a publicly owned team that really needed to pay attention to the margins. But I put cheap in the fact that they just couldn't spend money, really. Pass pro problems, trouble protecting quarterbacks, lots of DBs. Again, a team maybe fielded a lot of DBs or had a lot of DBs on the team. And again, they focused on homegrown talent, meaning they drafted their own guys and tried to develop their own guys. 505. They came out much worse than I would have anticipated. Minnesota Vikings, known for defense first, dominating the line of scrimmage. CQB, hit QB, top coaches. They rate out a 750. The Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys were the creme de la creme in the 1970s in the NFC. And of course, the Bucs came on late. They started in 76. But they would have had young Bucs. They would have had pass protection problems, a read and react based defense, and a sinking ship. As they really never got better. It was hard to call them a sinking ship when they were literally just afloat. But the reality is, for the modifier, that's they ultimately by 1979 were in the NFC Championship. So sinking ship could be one of those you could tweak, maybe change this to scouting or something, right? Okay. They rate out a 505, which is epic compared to Green Bay. So Green Bay could have been profit margin, and the Tampa Bay Bucks could have been, say, scouting to give them a little kick. But remember, this is one of the worst teams in history. They were 1 in 26 or something. So it's that 505 to me seems high. But anyway, the Atlanta Falcons, again, no names, a bunch of there's Tommy Nobis and there's a few guys, but really they had no real superstars. It's trying to set up the run. They trust their talent on defense and homegrown talent again. They're 620 though. The Los Angeles Rams, they're veteran leaders, scripting, coaches who like to script or prepare. Red zone defense and tradecraft, they're a 735. The Rams were the best team in that division in the 70s. Phenomenal. The Saints, looking at profit margin as a burgeoning organization trying to control spending, shoot from the hip kind of offense, meaning it kind of falls apart and they just got to go for it. Chalk talk on defense, more talk and more X's and O's, less play, and poor drafting, 470. They're pretty bad. San Francisco 49ers, injury prone, short practices, read and react, poor drafts, 425. They're the worst team in the league. Again, any of these could be tweaked if you think San Fran's too low. But the Baltimore Colts, quarterback, they prioritize the quarterback in the organization. They protect the quarterback. This would have been the early Colts, of course. Later, again, still competitive. They contest everything on defense, and then pricey free agents. They're 660. The Buffalo Bills with a patient owner, old school offense, slow but big on defense, and a sinking ship organization. They're 540. The Dolphins, what can I say, the 1970s, who is more dominant than the Dolphins and the Steelers? Dolphins are great coaching, pounding the rock, stopping the run, cool under fire. They're an 835. The New England Patriots, so looking at profit margin, again, this is a team that I believe sold in 1970. I can't remember when they sold, but this team saw two owners. I think they're in their third owner in my lifetime. They're in their third owner, right? Gillette. They had somebody before Gillette, and then, of course, Kraft. So I think there were three owners. So profit margin would have been something to pay attention to. Pounding the rock, running the ball, trusting their talent on defense, and scouting. They're 630. They're not bad. The Jets, looking at injury prone, again, protecting the quarterback would have been something they would like to have done. Contest everything on defense, but a revolving door with coaches, players, 555. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're, again, a team, really no names. There might be one or two guys. I mean, obviously Cincinnati fans know, but in over the grand scheme of things, Ken Anderson would be the guy everybody would think of. Scripting, again, this was the beginning of the West Coast offense with Bill Walsh and Paul Brown. And So scripting and then chalk talk again, more X's and O's, but less actual good play on defense. But homegrown talent, they're a 6'10". The Cleveland Browns with a cheap owner, pounding the rock, it would be the bread and butter there. And then, of course, a read and react defense, scouting, they're a 6'15". The Houston Oilers, injury prone, data wins, lots of DBs, and a sinking ship. They're a 465. And kind of phenomenal that San Fran at 425. I still, it's unbelievable. But that poor drafts is huge. You do not want poor drafts. It's a huge negative. And so, again, poor drafting. Okay, the Oilers, we just did those, 465. All right, so Pittsburgh, what are you going to say? Great coaching. They pound the rock. They see QB, hit QB, and roster building. They built a phenomenal roster that won 4 Super Bowls in the 70s. They're an 875. They're the highest rated team in the game. Phenomenal. The Denver Broncos, they're a defense-first organization. They set up the run. Red zone defense. This was a bend but don't break team that played really good red zone defense. And they scouted fairly well. This team trusted their drafts, and they trusted bringing on their own guys. They're a 680, which is really not bad at all. Kansas City Chiefs, patient owner, scripting, trusting their talent on defense, but a sinking ship organization. They were only going to get worse as the 70s wore on, 600. The Raiders, they prioritized the quarterback. They dominated the line of scrimmage. They contested everything on defense, and they were a tradecraft organization. This was a team that as long as Al Davis was at the helm, he was not afraid to go trade or go get old guys off the scrap heap. They're a 740, so not bad, but they're of the powerhouses in the 70s. There's 5 powerhouses. They're the 4th or 5th, which I wouldn't say is unfair. They were a very good organization. They won a lot of football games, but they only won 1 Super Bowl in that whole period. San Diego Chargers, injury prone. They shoot from the hip. Lots of DBs, and again, top coaching staff, 520. And the Seattle Seahawks were young bucks, short practices, blitz, roster building, though. This team would build themselves up to being a solid contender and a battler, and 6'10". So there they are. That's the 1970s decade set for the soon-to-be-released Big Country Football, the actual Big Country Football, which was based on the Big Country Boxing engine, which is a 3 to 4 digit ratings code. You roll for the round-by-round scoring, or you roll for the whole scoring, or you roll for the inning scoring, or this game you will roll for the game score, period. So it's one roll. You literally will match up the teams, check their practice to see how their teams are affected between the games, and then you roll the dice in the matchup, and that'll give you the score, and that's it. You move on. So you're going to be able to drop the dice once. Well, 3 times. You're going to roll for the, let's say it's Dallas at the Giants. We're going to roll for the Cowboys practice, see how it affects this rating. We roll for the Giants practice, see how this affects this rating. We match them up. We get the modifier. Whoever's at home, we roll the chart and look at home team. Either home team's going to win or home team's going to lose. And so you're talking about playing games very quickly. Modifying the team every week based on practice quality. And then you're going to modify the teams at the end of the season based on free agent losses, the draft, training camp, etc. And these numbers will literally change from game to game, and they'll also change in the off season. These, what they're known for, these adjectives will never change. So even though a team could be 425, known for poor drafts, and in 15 years climb up to a 700 team that's won 3 Super Bowls, they're always going to be known for a poor drafting team, right? There is no way to change these nomenclature, but it gives you a clue who the 49ers were. They might have won 5 Super Bowls in 20 years of your career. However, they were known for these things, or these are the things that they started the decade with, right? Or finished the decade with, etc. Anyway, this is the team set. This will be available on the Google Drive eventually with the game free. It's not available right now because I'm play testing, so some of this may change, by the way. So, for instance, San Francisco, I may go through here and finally sculpt and get all of these numbers just a little tighter, maybe, to what these teams. Again, I'm trying to rate every single team over the course of 10 years, and I only have so many. Adjectives with a rating to give them. So I got to try to find the best route to get them a rating. But some of these are questionable. But I think the most important ones aren't. Miami's 835. The Steelers are an 875. Raiders are a 740. The Rams are a 735, 750 for the Vikings, 675 for the Redskins, 675 for the Redskins, and 585 for the. I think for the most part they're all pretty accurate. Some of these teams are tough because they were really bad, but they had things they were known for, right? So, and the two toughest are injury prone and poor drafts. The 49ers have both injury prone and poor drafts, and that's 150 points. Let's see, that's 150 points coming off their total. That's epic. That's an epic problem, right? But the Bucks, well, they were young. I mean, this was a young Bucks team. They had pass protection problems. They played a base read and react defense, and they were ultimately a sinking ship. Right? So this could change. This could change. So I may go through and fine tune these teams before I release them. But I wanted people to know that there is a brand new football game coming that is basically a single role system, and it is meant to let you simulate games very quickly, weeks very quickly, so you can see the careers, the dynasties of these teams unfold quickly and change on a year-to-year basis, week-to-week basis. All right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.